Is Spright back? Hello guys and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode we are taking a look at Spright. It has been a while since Spright has been on the top, and with the limitations in the OCG as well as the banning of Elf in both the TCG and the OCG, Master Duel is kind of the last place for it to really shine. However, it's been limited for a long time. But with the new introduction of Nightmare Throne, this deck may be good once again. Now, notably, what does Nightmare Throne provide to Spright? Well, here's the thing. It adds a 0 attack, 0 defense Fiend monster from deck to hand. Now, what 0 attack, 0 defense Fiend do you normally want to add? I don't know, like something about Yubel, something yada yada. Nope! Dark Beckoning Beast. That's a 2! It's a 2! And it plays around the Roach! Now, with this, you basically have 9 copies of Dark Beckoning Beast, which is fantastic because it gets you off into your combo very easily. Now, granted, drawing specifically Dark Beckoning Beast itself without any other follow-up, either through the opening or the Dark Beckoning Beast itself, isn't going to do nearly as much. But all you need is another guy, basically, whether that is another Dark Beckoning Beast or a Spright or something along those lines, in order to get you off into the races, which is fantastic, because now, with the Nightmare Throne as well, you have way more starters, which was a big hindrance to the Spright stuff. People were playing things like Hero Kid, hence the nickname, or hence the name of the deck. By the way, don't play Hero Kid, it's just not worth it. Just play the Nimble stuff, it's better. You can actually like get something off of Nimble Beaver. They do the same thing. So there's that. Yeah, so we're going to quickly go through the card by card. Oh, also you can play some of the Yubel stuff. We're playing 3 of the other Yubel cards. The main reason for this is because you can make Phantom of Yubel, which is pretty good. So yeah, there you go. But yeah, let's quickly go through the card by card and the explanation. Starting off with the Sprites, we're playing 2 apiece of Blue and Jet because they're limited to 2. And then we're obviously playing the 1 Red and the 1 Carrot, as well as a 2 Starter and a Smasher. Honestly, every single Spright card could come off of the list and nothing would change. Sprite's good, but it's not insane. If you add more consistency to this deck, it's not going to change anything. Maybe it'll help them not have to play the stupid Yubel cards. I shouldn't say stupid. The random Yubel cards. But it's not really going to change much. So there you go. That is it for the Spright cards. We are also running, of course, the Dark Beckoning Beast cards. We're running 3 pieces of the Dark Beckoning Beast as well as 3 opening to get us into more of those Dark Beckoning Beasts, as well as we are, of course, running the Nightmare Throne at 3 as well. And then 1 piece of Yubel and Spirit of Yubel. I'm also running Nightmare Pain just as an additional card to play. I don't really think you need to play this, but there's a chance that it's useful. I think the best option is probably just cut this card for like another hand trap or something like that. Then we are playing a small Nimble package. We're playing the 1 Angler, the 1 Beaver, and the 1 Momonga. All fairly good here. And then the rest of the cards are non-engine. We're playing 1 Veiler, 3 Maxi, 3 Ash Blossom, 3 Imperm, 2 Nibiru, 2 Called By, and 2 Triple Tack. And that's basically it for the main deck. As for the extra deck, it's pretty simple as well. We're playing 2 Phantom of Yubel. We're playing a whole bunch of rank 2s, the Mannequin Cat, the Onibimaru, as well as 2 Gigantic Sprites. And then we're also playing Zeus and Typhon. I don't know if Zeus is necessary. It honestly didn't feel all that great to use the Zeus, but it's still here. You could still make it, so it's not too terrible. So why not? And then for the Link monsters, we're playing an IP Mask Arena, 2 Elves, 1 Pit Knight early. This card is really, really good because you have a lot more access to more monsters, which makes it much stronger. We're also playing Sprint and the SP Little Knight, as well as in Avramax. Now, I just barely added the Avramax in, so you're not going to see this ever summoned in this game, but it is basically just a way to close out the game. This should probably be Axis Kotaker, but Avramax is funny, so we're going to play the Avramax instead. But yeah, this is it for the list. Let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performs. Alright, so here we are going second, and we drew, I mean, it's Maxi Roach Triple Tack, so that's pretty good. I'm going to immediately fire off the Maxi, to the which my opponent will go for the Gamma, to the which I will go no, and I will Ash them. Now, this seems pretty bad, but seeing as how they Gamma'd, I'm like, yeah, they probably really don't want this to resolve. So that is exactly what happens. It resolves. And then they just passed. I'm like, oh, well, I hope I draw something good here. And I draw Jet, and I'm like, okay, maybe we can do something if we, like, draw with triple tack. And then they activate Ash Blossom. First of all, don't do this. Don't do this. Activate the Gamma. I don't know what they are thinking is going to happen when they Ash me. Because, look, even if you're not playing around triple tack, that's fine. But if you see Jet, then Blue, and you know that I know that you have Gamma, just activate the card that you know that I know you have. Also, Ash just helps you more here, because, like, you go for the Gamma, you deal with my board, and then you get to keep the Ash, and then I'd have to have another guy, and if I have that other guy, I don't really have as much that I can go into, which then you'd be able to Ash, right? Anyway, beside the point, I don't know why this is a weird play, and it ends up killing them. So, yeah, they Ash here, I'm like, oh no! Let me look at that hand, and oh, look, it's a whole bunch of non-starter, actually, it's just a whole bunch of non-interaction, besides the one Gamma that we knew about, so we just shuffle that back, and now we get to play the game as if nothing, as if our opponent just doesn't exist, which is great. So we pitch the Angler, we're gonna go summon out 2 guys, and then immediately go for Gigantic Spright. Gigantic Spright, special summon out the red, because we've already used the, because Jet's already in grave, so now we just make the Elf, we bring back the Jet grabs another guy, we're gonna grab Starter, we're gonna activate the effect of the Starter, and we're gonna summon out the Carrot. We're gonna go to combat here, and we're gonna walk over the field. And then we are going to link off here into IP Masquerena, and then, so this was actually a mistake. Realistically, should not have done what I do here. But I do end up making the IP Masquerena here. Here's the thing. What I should have done is linked off Carrot and the Jet in order to go into Pit Knight early. And then just kind of passed on that, because then I can activate the Elf to bring back a guy, negate the normal summon that they have, which is the Volcanics, right? So I know that that's like the normal summon that's likely to come down. So I'm like, cool, if they normal summon that, we have the Pit Knight early to kind of deal with that. So, you know, that's much better. Because then I can bring back either Red or Carrot, probably Carrot, right? I can bring back Red or Carrot, depending on what they draw, in order to go from there. However, I end up going for the IP Masquerena, and then we go for the early here. So, there's that. Now, this is honestly still a fairly decent play, but they draw Ash, and I'm like, no, not happening. Not having that. They attempt to go to the battle phase. I didn't remember which Garunix it was, so I was like, oh, let me play around the new Garunix. Had they gone to battle, had I not brought back IP Masquerena, had they just gone to battle, and I brought back, like, Jet in attack position, they do just die. They can't attack me. So I don't know why I'm doing this, but I am. Anyway, my opponent goes to the battle phase, they go to the end phase, I'm like, oh, cool. I believe I just go to combat here. Oh, sorry, I activated the Elf there. I do not know why. But yeah. I knew exactly what they had. Anyway, good game. Alright, so here we are going first with quite a Yubel-esque hand. I start off here with the Nightmare Throne to specifically fetch out Ash Blossom. I'm like, cool, if they have the Ash Blossom, we can activate this and, you know, have them activate it. And, cool, triple tech. Look at the hand. Oh, look, a Gamma that's live. We also know that we're playing against the same deck. Not the same deck. We're playing against, Yubel, so there's that. So I see the Nightmare Throne, and I'm like, cool, all I have to do is, worry about the Nightmare Throne, because the rest of this hand doesn't do anything. Put the Gamma back. We're going to activate our opening to grab up the Beckoning Beast, to grab the third opening, actually. And then we just get a special summon the blue. Blue go for Jet. Jet grab the Smasher. Now I know what you're saying, why not grab Starter? Starter can grab Carrot. We can get you more bodies onto your field. First of all, don't need the extra bodies. Thank you for your concern. However, Smasher is just objectively better. We can also get Carrot or Red off of Gigantic if we really need to. So I'm not really concerned about getting either of those guys. So, yeah, we go for the Sprint here, reactivate its effect. We're going to jump to the graveyard. The Angler. Angler is going to grab up 2 of our guys. And we're going to go into the Xyz for Gigante. Gigante into red, and then we're going to pitch in order to special summon back another guy. and go for the Elf. Elf effect is then going to activate. We're going to bring back the Jet. And then we're going to link those two off into Pit Knight early and just pass the turn. So, notably here, we have 2 monster negates, and we have the Smashers for the field spell. So I'm not really too worried. My opponent's going to start with the Drawn Imperm, and I'm like, cool, doesn't really matter. They're going to activate the effect of the Nightmare Throne. I'm going to banish the Gigantic, and then just, yeah, they don't really have anything. I'm going to go for the Elf, because they're attempting to go to the end phase. I go for the blue, and yeah, the game is over. Also, had they had something else there, like a normal summon, that does something like, I don't know, whatever it is, if they were to activate, like on summon, I could just go red, activate the effect of the red, and then target with the Pit Knight early. Even though they negated the red can still activate its effect, and then Pit Knight early triggers, and we're off to the races. So there you go. Good game. Alright, once again, we are going first, and that is a hand. Whoa! So we're going to start off here with the Nightmare Throne. It resolves. We're going to grab the Dark Beckoning Beast. I'm going to normal summon that, to which my opponent will fire off the Maxi. And I'm like, okay, let's see what we can do here. We're going to go for the opening here. We're going to grab the Dark Beckoning Beast. Now, I have a few options here, right? There's a few things I can go into. I could go into Elf to potentially play around Called By with the Maxi and like hope that the Maxi resolves. I could go into SP. I could potentially go into Gigantic and potentially get something off of that, like for example a red or a carrot, which would be an additional summon. So it's not exactly the greatest, but at the very least it would be something, right? But notably, we have Angler in hand, which is very good, because what it says is if this card is sent from hand or deck to the grave, you can special summon 2 level 3 or lower Nimbles, right? So we can just send it to the graveyard for opening to special summon back another guy, which gets us 3 bodies onto our side of the field, which is really useful. We also have Maxi and Nibiru, so my idea is survive. That is the goal. I am here to survive in the least amount of special summons, so we go for the SP. That's basically it. Could I have done other things? Yes, but I'm just going to fire the Maxi here. My opponent reveals that they are on a bad deck, which is Rescue Ace. So they go for the Turbulence here. They're going to activate the effect of the Turbulence. I'm like, that's okay. I'm going to just tag out here. Mostly just to guarantee that we keep the SP Little Knight. And the Maxi did resolve, so if they're going to try and special summon a whole bunch, we do have the ability to potentially draw additional cards. So they go for the Bonfire into Poplar into the Original Sin. I don't know why we didn't just grab... No, yeah, I don't know. This is kind of the only thing. I draw Momonga because of course I do, so now this Angler's slightly worse. But yeah, they go for Preventer, they go for the Fire Engine, and that is summon number 5. So I'm like, Nibiru. We also drew Carrot, which is very funny. Not exactly the greatest of draws, if I do say so myself. They searched, I forgot what they searched. They searched Fire Engine, or Fire Attacker, which is very funny. So at this point, my opponent is just going to try to survive. So that's kind of the idea. My opponent immediately goes for Extinguish here. I'm like, yeah, that's totally fine. Did you expect me to do something about that? On the summon of the Carrot. I'm like, yeah, can't really do anything about that. But it fetched out one of their interactions, and I know the other one is Contain, which I can dodge with SP Little Knight, so I do not care. Pop off King. Anyway, they activate their Rescue, and I activate Maxi, and they just let it resolve. They have Emergency set, by the way. So they have all of their cards set, but yeah, Maxi resolves again, so yeah, Maxi. But yeah, this game was why I added in the Avermax, which is more so why I'm showing you this. But yeah, let me see Maxi. Maxi just kind of cooks them here. I draw an insane amount of cards. I just Ash the Airlifter. I don't need to. Like, realistically, I'm going to put myself into an insane position anyway. But, yeah, just in case. We're going to go for the blue here. We're going to grab the Jet. They're going to go for the Fire Attacker and pitch in Imperm. I'm like, okay, cool. We're going to go for the Elf, go for the Jet, and then we're going to normal summon the Momonga. I'm going to go for Onibimaru, activate the effect of the Onibimaru, get rid of the token, and then I'm also going to go Smasher here. I know what you're saying. Why are you doing this? What are you doing? Why are you activating the Smasher here? Turbulence does have a card effect, or a text. If a card on the field leaves because of an opponent's card effect, destroy a card. So, not going to allow that guy to stick around. They're going to go for the Contain on my Elf, and I'm like, okay, I'll just bring back the Carrot, you know. And down comes Nibiru, and I'm like, oh, Well, I'll tag out. Tag out the elf, tag out the SP, draw 2 because of the token and the guy. And we drew into Throne, which is very, very funny. Because, yeah, we just go Throne. We popped, I believe we popped Yubel. Realistically, shouldn't have popped Yubel. Should have popped the Spirit of Yubel to put another Yubel onto my field. Not that big of a deal, though. And then we just win Phantom. Then we special summon with our starter and go into IP Masquerena with the set Imperm. IP Masquerena here would be really nice to just go into Avramax, right? You just go into Avramax. I guess I couldn't really have gone into Avramax because neither of these guys were technically special summoned from the extra deck. Or were they? Because they were just brought back. They weren't special summoned. I don't know how that works. Don't quote me on that. But at the very least, like, you know, it still would have been good to have, like, another target, basically. Since we already went for the IP. Or for the SP. But my opponent activates a card effect, and I just tag out with the SP. Then they activate Impulse, which is a choice. Okay. Because I just go for the Phantom of Yubel. Now, here's the thing. Drawing Impulse is not bad here. Because what it allows you to do is you go normal summon Impulse, and then you proceed to combat. Which threatens me to, like, do something. I have to go for the IP, I have to go for the Elf, I have to go for something, right? It forces me to do something, right? Because I know this set card is Emergency, I believe, right? And they also have the original Sin. So if they do that, like, they clean the board pretty handily, right? It's not like I'm going to go into anything with this IP Masquerena, realistically. So had they not activated anything, they walk over the SP, they walk over the IP, or the Elf or something like that. And, you know, it's pretty good for me. They can also activate the effect of the Impulse afterwards to prevent my card from activating, but they decided to not do that, and so now I get a whole bunch of card advantage. They're going to activate the Rescue Ace Hydrant, to the which I will activate the Imperm, to the which they will activate the Emergency, to the which I will activate my Ash Blossom, basically turning off everything that they could do. They're going to set the Extinguish here, and then go into Typhon, and I'm like, that's A-okay. Typhon is going to attempt to go to the battle phase, to the which I will then just go for red. And then I will also tag out into Midnight early, which is very funny. Of course, instead of walking over like Elf or Red or something useful there, they walk over the early, which is just going to come right back. But now they activate the effect, and I'm like, no, obviously that's not going to happen. You're going to get destroyed. Anyway, did you know that early has the ability to just come back? Cool. Anyway, Nibiru comes out, and this is where, again, something like Avramax, something like Access Code is probably better, would be more useful here, right? Because that's just a big token. I don't really have a good way of dealing with that. I draw the third Nightmare Throne, which is comedy. So we grab the Dark Beckoning Beast here this time, and I don't misclick. We go for the Phantom of Yubel, we grab up the third opening, or the second opening, and then we go Gigantes, and we activate the effect, we pitch, grab back another guy, we link these two off into Elf. We go Elf, and bring back another guy. This is literally, like, this may seem like BM, I literally did not have a good out. I just kind of have to, like, alright, let me go through a whole bunch of guys. Like, I can't just do 8,000 damage. So, yeah. Good game. Alright, we're back with the deck, and honestly, yeah, I need help with the OTK, obviously. But, all in all, this is a very good addition to the deck. I honestly, at first, made fun of this deck, but the main reason that I made fun of it was due to the fact that every opponent that I saw that played it was playing, one, a very bad build of this, but two, and more importantly, we're just playing really poorly. Spright is not difficult. You just put a whole bunch of 2s onto the field. That's it. You don't really have to think about it too much. But every single time I saw an opponent playing this build, it was always just really bad. They would always make, like, every wrong turn. They're like, okay, you can go either this way or this way, and they would always go the wrong direction. They would go straight instead of turning. And you're like, no, you're supposed to turn. You have to turn at least here or here. It's very funny. Like, they would always go Gigantic Spright when he, like, doesn't do anything. And they would always play Hero Kid. Look, Hero Kid, let's talk about Hero Kid specifically. It seems really good. When this card is special summon any number of Hero Kids from your deck, right? Great. You activate it off of Gigantic Spright, you get a guy, and then you get 2 more guys. Great, fantastic. You got 3 guys off of that. That's crazy. However, the Nimbles do the same thing, but with Sprint instead. So you can save your Gigantic to get something more useful. Something that only Gigantic can get. On top of that, Hero Kid is a terribly dead draw. at the very least, Angler, Momonga, and Beaver are slightly better draws. Mostly these two. Beaver is fantastic. It's full combo by itself. But, like, Angler is also fairly decent with the opening. Stuff like that. Okay? Don't play Hero Kid. It's just not worth it. Play something else. If you're going to play it, I better see Nimble cards in there. And you better be balls to the walls combo. Okay? That's your two options. However, with all of that being said, genuinely, this deck's pretty good. The biggest flaw that I had that can be remedied very easily is OTK. Just add in the Gamma Burst, boom, you're done. Probably take out Nightmare Pain, throw in the Gamma Burst, and boom, now you have a way to search with Jet in order to go into an OTK more easily, which is great. It's always a good option. But all in all, like, this deck does quite a lot. A lot of the issues of consistency are solved due to the Nightmare thrown into Dark Beckoning Beast and stuff like that. You have a little bit more, like, you can play a few of the bricks basically to allow you to go into a few of your other, kind of like maybe a few other disruptions and stuff like that, which is also very useful. And all in all, it's just a very solid and clean Spright list, which is very nice. It also can notably play a whole bunch of hand traps, which is very, very useful against Snake Eye and the like. However, with the consistency of Snake Eye dropping quite significantly due to Wanted being at 1 and all of that stuff, you don't really need as many hand traps most of the time. But that is going to be it. Thank you guys so much for watching. Hope that you guys did indeed enjoy it. If you did, I like this very much, so appreciate it. And remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.